want it. Oh, hello. Hey guys, I'm just holding this coffee. I bought this coffee because during these live shows, it's 10 p.m. here, right, in Japan. I always get a little bit tired, but I bought this with the hope that if I did get sleepy, I could down it and suddenly come to life. But I don't think I need it. I feel kind of hyper already, and I think that's because I've just spent all evening eating loads of sweets. So yeah, hopefully I don't need it, but I'll just leave it there just in case. Anyway, welcome to the Abroad Japan Patreon live stream. It's good to see you all, guys. No matter where you might be out there in the big wide world, go and let me know where you are in the comment section. I'm always curious. I'm always nosy to know. Yeah, I'm in Tokyo at the moment. Again, I seem to be in Tokyo an awful lot this year, which is, I suppose, it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. To be honest, I don't really like Tokyo. I like it in small doses, but too much of Tokyo is just not fun. But the reason I'm down here is I've got this event with Tokyo Creative tomorrow, where we're talking about the 6 tips or 6 things to help you grow as a YouTuber. So I think we've got like 50 or 60 people coming, so it should be fun. A little bit nervous. It's always a little bit scary doing events. You never know if anybody's going to turn up or if something's going to go wrong, but hopefully it'll be all right. Let's see where you're watching from, though. We've got Sweden, Manila, Australia, Sydney, Denmark. I'm coming at you live from Chad in Seattle's basement. This is Jonathan. Myanmar, Stoke Mandeville Hospital, having physio for 3 weeks. Good Lord, Matthew. I hope you're all right. What have you done? You've been playing football too much. Osaka, Waco, Texas. Christy. Coventry, Kyoto. Someone there nearby. East coast of the US, very vague, very vague. The east coast of the US is like 3 times the size of the UK, so it could be anywhere from Philadelphia to Orlando. New Brunswick, Canada, Vancouver, Montreal, Chicago, Norfolk, Sydney, Dusseldorf, Roppongi. I'm actually very near Roppongi right now. I'm about 5 minutes from Roppongi, so you're watching from very close, Mr. or Mrs. LD. In the comment section, so very close. Yeah, I'm staying in a neighborhood called I don't know what it's called actually, but it's near Roppongi, which is like the nightlife bit of Tokyo. So if you're into nightlife, Roppongi's the place to be. But yeah, it's good to see you all, guys. It was quite fun last month doing this live. Oh fuck, I'm gonna have the coffee. Couldn't be bothered. I'm gonna have it. Yeah, it was fun last month doing this live show with Natsuki. It's always you never know where it's going to go, and Natsuki certainly makes it all the more worthwhile to watch. But I've missed Natsuki recently. It feels like we haven't seen much of him, given that he wasn't on Journey Across Japan much. It feels like there's been a lack of Natsuki. So I'm looking forward to getting back and making some videos with him soon. But today, for the next hour, I'm all yours, here to answer your questions. I'll be talking a little bit about what projects we've got coming up this year. As I started putting the pieces of the puzzle together for what we're going to do, I'll be reading out your questions. And I will also tell you about yesterday. So yesterday, it was Charlotte and my birthday this week. I turned 29 years old on Sunday. So now I'm almost 30, not quite 30, but close enough to be unpleasantly. I just don't like getting older. I don't know about you, but when I passed 25 years old, my enthusiasm for getting like older just dipped massively. My entire life before I was 21 years old, all I ever wanted to be was old enough to like do anything, and to be able to drink anywhere in the world or do anything easily, you kind of need to be 21. So once I hit 21, I was delighted, and then each and every year past 21 just got less good. As well. But a lot of people in the comments, a lot of you guys are actually over 30, and so I've received a lot of nice reassurances over the last week, so that's good. Apparently being over 30 is not so bad after all. But I don't know, how old are you guys watching this? How old are you? I'm only 22, says Deluxe Fob. Only 22. See, 22 is a good age. That was when I moved to Japan. 22 was a good year. But yeah, 29 is a bit of a boring number. All I fear is fear before turning 30. I think it's because when I always imagined I'd be rich by the time I was 30, and that hasn't happened at all. I thought I'd be like a rich business owner living in a skyscraper, and it's going to be magical, and I'd have like a swimming pool. That hasn't happened. In fact, this is the reality in a tiny, crappy little room. So I'm staying in an Airbnb in Tokyo, and you don't get much for your money's worth in Japan in general, let alone Tokyo. So I've got a little tiny room there. But yeah, turning 29 wasn't that fun. But what we did do, so it was Charlotte's birthday, as luck would have it. It's my birthday on the 21st, and Charlotte in Japan's birthday on the 23rd. And what Charlotte wanted to do for her birthday, for some reason, was go to the Kagaya bar, the crazy frog, mental, ridiculous, terrifying izakaya bar in Tokyo that I made a video about 4 years ago, a video called Tokyo's Craziest Bar. And it was fun. I think it was fun. She made a video about it, she filmed it, and it's going to be a good one because, well, if you've seen the last one that I made, you'll know what happens involving a puppet frog being terrible things happening to a puppet frog. I'm not going to go into details. It's not something you really want to repeat or talk about. But yeah, if you haven't seen the video, go on the YouTube channel and type in like Tokyo's Craziest Bar, and you'll see what happens. Because yeah. I mean, someone can describe it if you guys know what I'm talking about, as Jonathan does, or Deluxe Fob, or Andrew Price in the comments. Please feel free to describe the events of that bar, because it's not something I really want to talk about. Still scarred from it yesterday, let alone 4 years ago. But yeah, it was fun, and Charlotte's made a video about it. It should be coming out next week, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. So that's what I've done this week. Let's see how old you guys are before I move on. Alev, 38 years old. Claire, 30. Jonathan, 32. Lindor Edda, 28. Frederick, 24. Toe Nying Lin, I'm 17. You're young. You're very young. Well done. If you're young, you win. Andrew Price, 21. Alice C, 41 in 2 weeks. Happy birthday. 33. Debbie. Yeah, everybody seems to kind of be early 30s, late 20s generally. I think that's just my audience. You know, most people that seem to watch my videos seem to be like late 20s, early 30s. Just who I am, I guess, because I'm old. My mentality, the way I present, I come across as quite mature and grumpy and old, so I think people like that. Have sexual violence and chaos perpetrated against a Muppet, says Andrew Price. Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe Kagaya Bar. Imagine the Muppets gone horribly wrong, and that is essentially what Kagaya Bar is. It's quite interesting though. While I was in Tokyo today, this morning I was sitting in a cafe and I read this article. I think it was on Sora News 24, Rocket News 24. It's kind of like a website that aggregates lots of crazy, wacky, weird news in Japan. And I saw an article about two foreigners who were going through Akihabara, they were holding these little Japanese flags, and they were going around and handing them to Japanese people. And they would take the flag and they'd be like, oh, that's great. And then one of the people would then give you a little bit of card, and on it, written in Japanese and English, it said, hello, I'm deaf, please buy the flag for 500 yen and help fund my travels around Japan. A little bit suspicious, a little bit dodgy, and it caused a bit of uproar. It reminded me, I don't know if you're in the UK, I don't know if anywhere else in the world, but in the UK we have the Romani gypsy people, gypsy travellers, and they do the exact same thing. They give you like a flower. You're walking down the street, they give you a flower, you take the flower, thinking, oh, this is nice, I've got a flower. And then they make you give them like £5 or something. They charge you for it. So what initially looks like a nice friendly gesture is actually an exploitation of your wallet. Anyway, that's what these guys were doing. And while I was walking through Roppongi this afternoon, I actually saw these two people, these two foreigners. I think they're from somewhere in Europe. I'm probably going to say towards Eastern Europe, judging their appearance. But yeah, they were handing out the flags, and I was hanging out with Charlotte, because we're just walking around having a coffee this afternoon. And Charlotte walked past one of them, and they approached Charlotte. And I don't know if they're deaf or not. I can't really tell. They do have a hearing aid in. They did both have hearing aids, but I think it was all a lie. I don't think they're actually deaf. And the woman put the flag in Charlotte's hand, and Charlotte was like, "Oh, that's nice, a flag, yeah, Japanese flag." And I went, "No, give it back, quick, give it back." And Charlotte gave it back just before they put the little bit of cardboard in her hand, revealing that they're deaf and that you should give them money. And she escaped. Yeah, so luckily she escaped. I took a photo and uploaded it to Twitter. So if you want to see what I'm on about, go on my Twitter and you can see a photo there. But it's quite surreal. I've never seen anything quite like that in Japan, especially foreigners exploiting people. It felt quite bad because whilst the woman was talking to Charlotte, there was the guy as well. And he was chatting to a Japanese guy who was really confused, like this Japanese dude who had taken the flag thinking, oh yeah, a nice free flag, was embroiled in this awkward conversation with the guy. There was a real language barrier issue, and it just looked really awkward. And Charlotte and I went into Starbucks for a coffee. We came out 25 minutes later, and the guy was still there with his phone out trying to translate what this flag con man, this flag scam person was on about. Really surreal, but there you go. So if you find yourself in Tokyo and someone gives you a free flag, ignore them and shout at them because they're a dickhead. So there you go. Never know what you're going to find. Any of you guys experienced that? Hopefully not. Paris, the bracelet gypsies, says James Pascoe. Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing, isn't it? The bracelet, that's it. They give you a bracelet, don't they? And it looks nice, and then they want money out of you. Terrible, terrible. Saw that in the USA, says Kerwin, where you get a free music album for the price of $10. Yeah, that's another popular one, isn't it? You don't see many Japanese flags in Japan anyway, says Aleph. That's true. Yeah, but you don't see, the only time you see Japanese flags is on nationalist trucks going around playing nationalist music all day. Yeah, true. I thought I'd talk about upcoming projects we got for this year. I've trying to make this year the year where things get really good, which is a really crappy way of summarizing up the plans for this year, admittedly. I've got about 7 or 8 different projects in the pipeline, which is ridiculous given that I haven't even finished Journey Across Japan. I tend to be someone who is overly ambitious and always trying to do too much at once. But I figured it's fun. You know, with Journey Across Japan, it's still ongoing. It's still a nightmare to edit all the episodes. We've got 4 episodes left of Journey Across Japan, and I'm currently embroiled in editing one of them where we go cycling from Honshu over into Kyushu. But it's a really big one, and I've had to condense like 3 days worth of cycling into just one video, so it's editing nightmare. But I'm trying to get Natsuki back in the game, and one of the ideas that I keep talking about is doing another documentary with Natsuki. For the last 6 months, after doing Natsuki the movie, I was sick to death. I'm not gonna lie, I think I was pretty open about it. I was sick to death of Natsuki and doing things with Natsuki, just because I'd seen Natsuki's face on my laptop screen for 3 to 4 months, and I thought, God, I'd never want to edit Natsuki again. But I feel like it's time again to go back to Natsuki and put in more videos. And throughout the last few months, I keep talking about making another documentary on podcasts, on Patreon, and everyone seems really enthusiastic about doing a documentary where Natsuki stops smoking. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. And somebody on Patreon, I can't remember who said it, but it was someone who was awesome, said, why not do a documentary where Natsuki stops smoking and encourage his viewers or his fans to get involved by getting his fans and viewers to make a video so that whenever Natsuki's on a smoking break, which is about 4 or 5 times a day, actually no, it's more than that, it's about 6 or 7 times a day. Whenever Natsuki's on a smoking break at work, instead of going outside his beauty salon for a quick smoking break, he pulls out his phone and watches a video sent in by a fan or a viewer convincing him to stop smoking, or convincing him to just try and take his mind off the fact that he's not smoking. I think that's a really interesting idea. Although we'd need, I don't know how many videos we need. If we're going to have like 3 videos a day, 3 videos every single day for an entire year, that's a lot of videos, isn't it? Shit, I don't even know what that is. It's like 1,000 videos or something. But that's something I'm quite interested in. Doing something really crazy, like something really large scale, but something that's also quite humanistic and fun. Debbie says, is Natsuki open to this proposal? He is actually. So I saw Natsuki the other week, as we saw in the Patreon vlog, where he was playing around with that weird drone and splashing around in the hot spring. Yeah, he was pretty open for it. I mean, Natsuki's open to anything that involves being in front of a camera and doing something. So he was really quite open to it. I did say to Natsuki, do you think you could ever stop smoking, even if we did do a documentary? And he was pretty certain that that would be difficult, and very difficult usually means no in Japanese. But who knows? I think it's possible though. Who knows? But anyway, that's something I'm really thinking about doing. Another Natsuki documentary, probably towards the end of this year, because it would require a lot. Is anybody actually still watching this? Is it still working at all? Damn it. I am, says Andrew. Well, hello, Andrew. You're the only one here. Works for me. Oh, it's working. Yeah. Okay. And you're back. Okay, I'm back. Oh, thank God. Yes. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened there. Saved. Good. Oh man. That's good. Well, sorry about that, guys. You'd think being in the middle of Tokyo, the internet would be brilliant, but it's not. It's rubbish. Don't know why that is. Christ. What's most annoying is I've got like 3 different Wi-Fis. I've got like 3 different Wi-Fis going, and it's still decided to not work. Brilliant. Oh fuck. Stupid thing. All right. Okay, we're back on. If it goes again, just let me know. So what was the last thing I was talking about before it went to shit? So yeah, no, I'm doing a documentary with a Japanese rock star, where I'm basically just following him around for a whole week as he performs in Tokyo, does loads of performances and stuff. I'm a little bit nervous because he's quite a big, super duper famous dude, but it should be quite good. Could be quite cool. Does your Airbnb not have Wi-Fi? Says Andrew. It does have Wi-Fi, but it's rubbish. So I've got this pocket Wi-Fi thing as well, just in case it goes wrong. And my phone. So there you go. Is it Lady Beard, says Romantic Geek, or Lady Baby? Who's Lady Baby? It's not Lady Beard, it's not Lady Baby. It's bigger than both of those people. So yeah. I'm borrowing this Wi-Fi thing from thing. So yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen there, but we'll see. Somebody asked me on Patreon earlier. One of the questions that came up was, "Am I still doing a haunted documentary series with Joey?" And that's another thing. I'm actually seeing Joey, the Animation Man, tomorrow, and we're talking about doing this haunted travel series where we travel around Japan looking for kind of spooky, crazy, eerie places. And a bit like the tunnel. Remember the tunnel thing we did where we went in that creepy tunnel? We're trying to do that again, but on a much bigger scale, and get Tokyo Creative to like back it as well. So they would help us to kind of film it. So that's something I'm quite excited about as well. So there we go. Lots of bloody things on the way. Trying to get a website done at the moment because there's no Abroad in Japan website that's good. So I'm trying to build a website to try and put the podcast, the videos, the stories and articles and things all together under one roof. And I'm also trying, as I said before, I'm definitely trying to do way too much. And I'm considering writing a book as well. I'm torn between doing 2 books at the moment. On the one hand, I'm thinking of doing a generic Japan travel guide book because we've got the Olympics coming up, right? And I'd be a muppet not to consider it. And the other type of book that I'm thinking of doing is just like a kind of a 3 or 5 years in Japan, like abroad in Japan, 5 years living in rural Japan. And I'll talk about like my weird experiences working as a teacher, how I met like people like Natsuki, just day-to-day life. You know, I've got lots of stories and things and experiences from my time as a teacher that I thought it could be quite interesting and fun. So that's something. I don't know what to do. What do you think? Tour guide book or kind of autobiography of 3 years of living in Japan? I'm more interested in this one, the autobiography one, because I think it'd be a lot more fun to write, and I think it'd be funny. It'd be quite fun. And also, there's loads of tour guide books already, and I don't really know what I could add to the tour guide genre, unless I got Natsuki to write it in weird English. In which case, that'd be bloody brilliant. That'd be hilarious. Claire says you should do autobiography. David says I think you should do the autobiography. It'll be more original. Yeah, fair point. Or combine them both, says Ryan. That's just greedy, Ryan. I'm thinking about. I mean, if I did do an autobiography, it would kind of be a Japan travel guide because I would still like have a chapter on climbing Mount Fuji. I would have like a chapter on visiting Tokyo for the first time, my thoughts on it. So I guess there'd still be an element of travel guide-ness to it all as well. So yeah, but I think autobiography is the way to go. I don't know how long it would take to write, but I'd love to get something done before the Olympics. I was nearly talking to a big book publisher recently about it, but I'm thinking of self-publishing it at this point because it'd just be a lot easier. And though I'm not writing a book with the hope of making money, I'd actually like to make some money if I'm going to dedicate, 3 months to writing something. I actually want to make some money with it or some money from it. So yeah, probably self-publish it. Although it'd still be a good book, but yeah, it's still something I've got to think about. That'll be the second half of this year as well. So yeah. Make a tour guide with your personal stories as footnotes, says Rook Steps. Yeah, that could work. That could be fun. When will you make more videos with Pete Donaldson, says Andrew. I would make more videos with Pete. Probably, I'm going to try and make one video with him at least when he comes over in June, because Pete's coming over. Pete's going to be a tour guide in June for his friend who's coming to Japan. And so Pete's coming over, I think, for a week or two. He's going to be traveling around, showing his friend around. So hopefully we can make a video then. Pete's going to be there in June, hoping for videos, says Claire. Yeah, we're going to do it, Claire. Don't worry. Jonathan says, will the travel guide be based on the Olympics or just general? It could be useful. It could be. I don't know what that would entail, though. What do you mean a travel guide based on the Olympics? What does that mean, Jonathan? You have to elaborate there. Koala Chuck says, you should do an audiobook narrated by Natsuki. Perfect. That would be the most inaudible audiobook ever made by humans, but it would be bloody brilliant. Yeah, I don't think you'd get a lot of educational value out of an audiobook narrated by Natsuki, but it would certainly be thoroughly entertaining. Actually, we should definitely do that. Or maybe I'll do like one chapter. Actually, I'll make a note of that because I'm definitely going to do that. What I'll do, one chapter, audio Natsuki. All right, if I do my autobiography, I'll get Natsuki to narrate one chapter out of the book as a kind of publicity or just humour. It'll just be funny with a bottle of sake, says James Pascoe. Absolutely. Natsuki isn't much good without a bottle of sake or any form of alcohol. So there would need to be sake. The audiobook would just start with the sound of like a beer can going and then being drunk, and then he would start. And that's how the Natsuki audiobook would be. Or he could do a foreword, says Ryan. Yeah, why not? I did have another idea for a book entirely involving Natsuki, actually. And this was a book that I'm deadly serious about, and I think I'm still going to do it. The idea, as you may recall, a few years ago, I took Natsuki on a tour of my apartment in Sendai. And we got to the microwave, and I said, what do you think that is in English, Natsuki? What do you think the microwave is? And he said, oh, it's an electric box. And I was like, yeah, definitely. That actually sounds much better than a microwave, an electric box. And then he saw a vacuum cleaner, and I said, that's a vacuum cleaner. And he went, oh, fucking cleaner. Again, he completely rebranded the vacuum cleaner. In the space of 2 minutes, we had a brand new name for the microwave, electric box, and a brand new name for a vacuum cleaner, the fucking cleaner. So I thought, why not get Natsuki to just go around a room or just around anything, a town or city, just trying to get him to guess what it would be in English. And the whole book would just be a picture book of items like microwaves and random household items. And then underneath it would just be what Natsuki thinks it is in English, like an electric box, like a fucking cleaner. I think that'd be really fun. I think that could be a much bigger seller than even an autobiography. So that's an option. That has to happen, says Deluxe Fob. That'd be amazing, says Jonathan. There you go. Already, you can see the potential. That's it. So lots of ideas for books. And that's what it could be called. Alev has well pointed out Natsuki Dictionary. Perfect. Natsuki Dictionary. I love it. There you go. It could be a big kid's picture book, says James. Yeah, exactly. So the possibilities are limitless. Imagine you have a kid, you're sitting there with your kid on an evening reading them a book, and it's Natsuki's picture book of weird Japanese English. It could be a Natsuki Dictionary. What the ultimate thing to read your kids, surely, teach them certain words. But there you go. So there's a few ideas for books. So, and then there's another project as well. If that wasn't enough, between 3 documentaries, 2 books, a website. I'm also, Ryotaro. Somebody just pointed out Ryotaro, Mr. Da Vinci. What about Ryotaro sequel? Yeah, Ryotaro is currently looking at getting us a job, doing some sort of sponsored job overseas in a different country, not even Japan. So that's another project. I can't remember which country it was. It was either Hawaii or New Zealand, but Hawaii's not a country; it's an island. It would either be Hawaii or New Zealand, maybe. Or Taiwan. Hawaii, New Zealand, or Taiwan. I can't remember which one. It was one of those 3. All very different, all very vague. But that's another thing, because I haven't done many videos with Ryotaro recently. But what we found, because Ryotaro and our travel videos seem to do quite well, people seem to enjoy them quite a lot. We've actually got a lot of interest from different places wanting us to go and make kind of like some sort of sponsored travel video or series. So yeah, we could be going to Hawaii or New Zealand or Taiwan or all 3 to make like a travel series. So many bloody projects. I wonder which ones are actually going to happen out of all those list of projects. Tai says, checking Ryotaro's Instagram. Ryotaro's Instagram is just a crazy place. I don't know what he's doing. If you've ever seen Ryotaro's Instagram, it's just him pulling a variety of stupid expressions, and I'm now going to show you, just in case you don't believe me. Let me find his face. The war between Natsuki and Ryotaro's Instagram still continues. They're both trying to fight for dominance of who can have the most followers. Natsuki's still winning by, I think, an extra 10,000 people. But yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Look at him. Look at his face. What's he doing? Why is that a thing? He always pulls these really weird expressions. And look, what's going on? How is that a good face? Ugh. Even look at that. What's that? Just look at his teeth. It's odd. I don't know if he's doing it deliberately in a kind of funny, cheeky way, or if he's just really bad at taking photos. I'm actually think it's the second one. Then again, that can't not be a joke. Look at it. What's going on? Terrible, isn't it? At least Natsuki has a sort of dignity to his photos. Well, does he? Yeah, see, Natsuki looks good. Yeah, it looks nice there. Natsuki looks nice. And Natsuki's actually got how many followers? 35,000. He's got a 13,000 follower lead on Ryotaro. Will be fun to run into you in Hawaii, says David. Are you in Hawaii, David? What is Hawaii like? I actually, for some reason, I've never thought about going to Hawaii, even though every single person I've met who's been to Hawaii absolutely loves it, especially Natsuki, Yuki, and Ryotaro. All 3 of them have been there. All 3 of my closest Japanese friends have been to Hawaii, and they all love it. So it must be pretty good. But I don't know what to expect there. The scenery looks nice, but yeah, I should probably go. If not with Ryotaro, then certainly for a bloody good holiday. Yeah. Rook Steps says, Ryotaro is trying to recapture his youth by mugging for the camera on Instagram. You're just jealous, says Aleph. I'm not jealous. How can I be jealous of that face? Poor unphotogenic Ryotaro, says Christy. Yeah, I know, right? Poor old Ryotaro. See, I always try and make an effort on Instagram. That's a terrible photo. Look at that. It's horrible. What an awful photo. It's me and Natsuki there, and I look just awful. I've learned the secret to doing well on Instagram, though, is to just take a selfie where you try and look good. And that's the secret to getting really nice big likes. For example, I try and take nighttime photos. One of the things I've been doing on Instagram the last year or so is doing nighttime photos, right? Like this, trying to get nice snaps of nighttime stuff. And yet despite that, despite all these photos of like neon lit Tokyo, it's actually just selfies that do the best, or photos where it's actually just me like that. It's a real shame because it kind of put me off doing photos of nighttime stuff. It actually put me off making an effort to do nice photography, because all you need to do to get loads of likes is just have yourself in a photo like that. But there you go. Maybe it was my birthday. Maybe that was why. But there you go. Almost at 100,000 people on Instagram as well. So I'm quite happy with that. Ryotaro is the physical representation of life satisfaction, says John Chewy. Yeah, I'd say so. Credit where it's due to Ryotaro. He is always very happy and positive. Yeah, so yeah, I'm in Hawaii. Depends on what you want to do, says David. What's in Hawaii? What's good there? Go to the island of Kauai. I don't know. I've definitely pronounced that wrong. Go to the island of Kauai on Hawaii. Best of the island chain. The first time I went to Hawaii, says Kerwin, I was caught up in a flash flood, a hotel fire, and a generator explosion, all in one night. That's either really bad luck, Kerwin, or maybe they were all related, because flash floods cause fires that creates generators to explode. But shit, that doesn't sound too good. But thanks for nice work on the. Thanks for nice comments on the artsy night photos, guys. That's very nice of you. I should take some photos while I'm in Tokyo, but I'm really not here for a long time. I'm actually only here till Tuesday. I'm got the show on Sunday, which is tomorrow, with Tokyo Creative. Then on Monday, I'm going to see Avengers because everyone says it's good. I'm watching Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones and Avengers all on the same weekend. It's mental. And then back up to Tohoku on Tuesday to escape Tokyo. It is actually Golden Week at the moment, or next week. If you don't know what Golden Week is, it's like the biggest, most unpleasant holiday in Japan. Basically, it's about a week-long holiday, and everyone goes back to their hometown to see their family and friends and whatnot. But it means all the traffic is congested, trains are a nightmare, planes are a nightmare. A good friend of mine is going to Korea, just South Korea, for a holiday during Golden Week. And usually it costs about $300 return to fly to Korea and back. But this week he's going, and it costs, I think it was about $1,500 for a return flight, just because it's so busy because of Golden Week. So it's 5 times more expensive, 5 times the price just to go to Korea. So yeah, if you're coming to Japan in May or April, avoid the first week of May because it's just terrible. It's not fun. So yeah, avoid it at all costs. Are you doing another meetup? Says LD. So the event tomorrow with Tokyo Creative, we're just talking about 6 things to help you grow on YouTube. And the 6 things that I've done, I've 6 things on my list is, number 1, give your viewers something tangible. What I mean by that is you as a viewer should be able to watch a video and learn something, right? And actually walk away having learned something from that video about anything. Could be anything, could be about Japan or whatever. To learn something tangible in every video. Number 2, don't be afraid to plan out your video. So if you're making a video, rather than just vlog it, rather than just pulling out your camera and filming it, try and plan it out, script it out, make it actually count. Number 3, make your thumbnail and title count. So make your thumbnail and title really good, because at the end of the day, even if you've made the best video on YouTube ever in the world, nobody's going to click on it if it's a crap thumbnail and title. You need to make sure they're really good. Number 4, build your channel around your interests. So your channel should revolve around you and what you're interested in and what you enjoy. So your passion reflects in your channel and in your videos, right? If you're interested in what you're making, then you're going to find the motivation to keep doing it. And keep doing it in the long term. Number 5, be proud of what you create. You should always be happy with whatever you're making. Otherwise, I don't know where I'm going with that point. Actually, got to think about how I'm going to present that. I'm basically just going to wing the event tomorrow. I'm just going to turn up and just talk and see what happens. Number 6, create a community around your channel. And don't just be a series of videos, become something more, which is something I really want to focus on this year. And I think I've let that slip in the last year. The Abroad Japan community is going pretty strong, but I haven't done as good a job as I'd like with it. And that's another project that I'm thinking about doing that may well tie in to the documentary I want to do with Natsuki. I'm thinking about doing a a big trip around the world, just meeting people. The reason I came up with this idea was somebody who's another YouTuber, I think Angela, Internationally Me, it's her channel name, Internationally Me. She started going around the world, meeting people, doing these meetups, and it looked quite fun. And I've always, as I mentioned, I think it was last month in the Patreon blog, I said that I've always been against meetups because it's quite scary meeting people. You never know what you're going to expect. But at the same time, it's also one of the most rewarding aspects of doing this, right? It's actually really fun meeting people, exchanging stories, and seeing what happens. And so I'm quite keen to do some more meetups and try and build a community around Abroad Japan and Abroad Japan viewers around the world. So I'd like to just take Natsuki, grab him and drag him onto a plane and just go around to some countries in Europe and maybe North America and just see what happens. Maybe just go to some major cities like London, New York, Toronto, Vancouver, LA or something, and just meet up with people and see what happens. That would be something that would probably happen either the end of this year or next year if it goes ahead. But yeah, that was another idea I had. Another idea. I thought it could be a lot of fun. Anyway, let's dive into the comments section while I drink this delicious, actually not too bad coffee. Usually when you drink canned coffee in Japan, it's not good. But this one isn't too bad. I mean, you know it's going to be good because it's Boss Coffee. He's the boss. I don't even know who that is, but he's the boss. We have beaches in Hawaii, historical sites, Pearl Harbor, and places to hike. Various mountains of Hawaii. Who wouldn't want to climb the various mountains of Hawaii? Endgame was so good, says Christy. That's good. Everybody that seems to have seen Avengers Endgame says it's brilliant. Does Avengers Endgame have a funny name in Japan? Says Jonathan. No, I think it's just called Endogame. It definitely is. I don't know what it's called actually. I think it is just called Endogame, but I'll need to check that. I'm seeing Avengers in 1 hour. You lucky devil. All my friends in the UK are seeing Avengers in the next few hours. So I'm late to the party with Avengers. I've booked my tickets for Monday, but I am seeing it at a really big screen, so that's good. I nearly saw Avengers Endgame in 4D, but then I remembered 4D is actually quite annoying. And given that Endgame is 3 hours long, the idea of sitting in a chair, being rocked around, having water and smoke blasted into my face didn't seem overly appealing. So just sticking with normal, boring screen for this one. Chris to Natsuki, do you trust me? Natsuki definitely trusts me. It's the end of the world. Come to Dusseldorf and take Ryotaro with you. It's his old hometown, says Mia. I'd love to. Let's take Ryotaro on a world tour as well. So the thing is, I could take Natsuki on a world tour and I'd pay for Natsuki's expenses. Or something. I'd probably pay for Natsuki's expenses, whereas Ryotaro would actually want like some sort of salary out of it because that's what Ryotaro is like. So I can afford Natsuki, but I don't think I can afford Ryotaro. But I'd love to take both of them. That would be amazing. Maybe we could crowdfund it. Maybe we could crowdfund a world tour and see what happens there. New Godzilla coming out at the end of May. Are you hyped, Chris? Says Andrew. I'm hyped, Andrew. I'm really hyped. It looks bloody good, actually. The last Godzilla in 2014 was actually pretty decent. It was pretty good, actually. So fingers crossed this one's going to be good. The trailer looks amazing. What interested me the most about the new Godzilla trailer is it's got like such a really weird cast. They've got like the guy that plays Tywin Lannister out of Game of Thrones. They've got the girl from Stranger Things. They've got the guy from Silicon Valley. They've got the woman from Shape of Water. It's like a casting director just looked at all the big popular TV shows of the last 2 years and just went, get me the lead characters, get me these characters out of each one. But it does look really good, so I'm looking forward to it. And of course, Ken Watanabe's in it. So I have to watch it. I have to go and see it just because he's in it. What's 4D, says Jonathan. Is it time? No, 4D. So 4D in Japan, it's just basically lots of chairs moving around. I went to one, I think it was in Japan. Yeah, it was in Japan, where underneath your legs, and this sounds really horrible and unpleasant, you sit on a chair and the chair moves, the chair rumbles. But most creepy of all, it's like there's these things that come out of the chair and like tickle the back of your legs. And it's not fun. I wasn't expecting that at all. What it is basically, it's just like this string, and the wind blows and the string goes like that, and it tickles the back of your legs. It's fucking horrible, and that's really unpleasant. I try and avoid that kind of 4D. But they blow water in your face. When there's water, they blow water. When there's wind, they blow wind. It's just kind of, I don't know. I actually saw Rogue One, Star Wars Rogue One, in a 4D theatre, and that was kind of fun because all the space battles, you kind of felt like you were in it. So, yeah, it could be quite fun, but yeah, it's also very expensive. We have good coffee in New York City, says Koala Chuck. Sold. What more can I need? Come to New York just for the coffee. Not Godzilla, Avengers. I really enjoyed Cranston in 2014. Yeah, Bryan Cranston was pretty damn good. Everyone is seeing the films while I'm studying for my AS level exams. Oh no, that sucks. I remember exams. I know, do your best though, because even now, age 29, I still have nightmares at least one time a month that I've failed all my exams. And it's a really weird nightmare. I don't know why. So do your best and then go and watch Endgame and everything else. Be your reward. Good luck. Good luck in the exams. Didn't know chairs in the fourth dimension in Japan. What is the science like there? Yeah, it's pretty weird, isn't it? Totally random, but I bought one of the Pete Donaldson refrigerator buddies, so I have a plastic animal shouting at me in Japanese when I open the door. Brilliant. That's a really surreal thing to buy. You can find a Patreon subscriber to host you in the country they're in, at least for free lodging, says Kath. We could do that. That could be fun. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you think about Natsuki and I traveling the world doing meetups? I don't know. I think it'd be fun if we turned it into a documentary. I think if it was just Natsuki and I traveling around meeting people, it'd be fun. But I feel like we'd both lose motivate. I think we'd both feel like it was a lost opportunity or a missed opportunity, especially as for every few people that can make it and meet us in New York or London or LA, there's loads of people that can't make it, and it'd be a shame for them to miss out. So we could make a documentary around us traveling around the world, especially if we could fit it in with Natsuki's smoking documentary. That'd be even more appealing, and it would save a lot of money. So yeah, it's lots of ideas there. So many bloody ideas. I mean, look at all my ideas. I've written them down here on the bottom on the page, right? If I missed any out. Project with Japanese rock star. Project with Ryotaro overseas, a website, Natsuki documentary, a haunted series with Joey, a book. Already, I feel like I've bitten off more than I can chew, and I still haven't finished Journey Across Japan. Shocking, isn't it? Ugh, terrible. But more so than ever this year, I want this year to be the year that things happen. And that's a very vague statement. That's a very vague and stupid outline. The year that things happen. But I really want to push the bar, raise the bar, take things to the next level, and try and put the Abroad Japan channel on the map for good. And once Journey Across Japan is finished, I don't think I'm ever going to make a vlog again for my YouTube channel. When I say vlog, I mean an unscripted kind of video like Journey Across Japan, where I just picked up the camera and started filming. I think every video I make from now on Journey Across on the Abroad Japan channel, I'm going to script out intensely like the good old days, just because the videos are going to be better. So yeah. How many episodes are you expecting for Journey Across Japan, says John. We've got 24 episodes now. We've got a video out in the next 3 or 4 days. So that's 25. And then after that, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 30 videos. Crikey, 30 videos for Journey Across Japan. And that's a good amount of videos. Probably too many. Is there much left on Journey Across Japan? One thing I've done, though, is started to combine certain days from the trip. So the next video, as I said earlier, the next video on Journey Across Japan is like 3 days combined into one, just because otherwise it's just so many bloody videos, and some of them it'd just be boring. You know, if you have too many videos that aren't good, things just aren't fun. So yeah, but 30 videos, and then I can finally be free to do something else. So my freedom's almost here. People could propose things to do in the Stop Smoking Natsuki videos, and then you go and visit them if Natsuki likes the idea. That's pretty good. I'll make a note of that. I don't know what to write. I'll just write good ideas equals visit from Natsuki. Love this. I think I've got more ideas from doing the Patreon live shows over the last few years than anywhere else. All good ideas, all the genesis of all good ideas that I come up with are just stolen from you guys on the live streams every month. This live stream, I was supposed to be me answering your questions, but instead you're helping me forge new ideas. So who's really profiting from the live streams on Patreon? It's the real question. How about you ask each person who comes to the meetups during your world tour to come up with an idea for Natsuki to stop smoking? Yeah, that works as well. I think the general idea was just to try and get Natsuki's viewers, Natsuki's fans to help him stop smoking. If we can do that, I think it'd be kind of fun and unique. And a newsworthy story. I think it'd be quite a good way of generating like publicity. The idea of this like Japanese guy who owns a beauty salon, traveling the world, meeting viewers in all kind of countries who are inspiring him to stop smoking. I think it'd be quite nice. Does Natsuki make much money from all his social media things he does? Says Daventex. How much? I mean, I pay Natsuki whenever Natsuki appears in a video. I think Natsuki makes money from maybe two or three ways. I pay Natsuki whenever Natsuki's in one of my videos. I give him like you call it a gara in Japanese, gara, which just literally means guarantee. So I pay Natsuki money whenever he appears in my videos, which I think is fair, right? Because Natsuki really is a big part of the Abroad Japan brand. So he gets paid every time he's in one of my videos. I give him a cut of the merchandise, so any merchandise sales we make, which isn't a whole lot because I don't do a good job promoting it, but Natsuki makes 50% of the merchandise sales, especially as his face is on half the merchandise. Although most of the sales of the merchandise come from the For Fuck's Sake t-shirt. Don't get that many sales for the t-shirts with Natsuki's face on, but he still gets 50% of the merchandise sales, and then he also gets paid by Tokyo Creative a little bit when he appears in their videos. They cover his expenses to travel to Tokyo and back, and he gets paid a little bit as well. So he does all right out of it. He gets a nice little side income from all of these things, and it feels nice, like giving Natsuki or like having Natsuki receive 50% of the merchandise sales is great, because for the first 3 or 4 years that I did YouTube, he used to be in my videos, right? But I didn't make any money from YouTube, so I didn't really give him anything. So it feels like the merchandise and everything, it kind of makes up for those years where he was helping me build Abroad Japan into something as well. So I've always wanted Natsuki to profit from Abroad Japan in some way, though, given his role in everything. So the hope was from Natsuki the movie, the aim of Natsuki the movie was to try and make Natsuki famous and thus somehow rich. We didn't really think that through, though, did we? And he actually made no money from Natsuki the movie, and we spent a lot of money on it. We didn't make any money, but it was a lot of fun. It was definitely worth it. But certainly, if we made something else, we'd have to try and find a way of compensating Natsuki properly for it and actually giving him some money somehow. So yeah, everything I do though, I try and want to make Natsuki famous in some way, because I feel like he deserves it. He's such a nice bloke. He might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but he's loved by everyone. Everyone who meets him always thinks he's the most amazing person. So yeah, I'd love to help him in some way, and that's something I'd like to go back and try again with doing another documentary. Yeah. Natsuki will be able to afford an early retirement with his wife, says John. Wouldn't bank on that, John. Unfortunately, the big problem is Natsuki's beauty salon. It's doing all right, but because the population in the town he's from, of Sakata, is dying effectively, because the rural populations of Japan is dropping really badly, because people are just getting old and not having kids and things. The population is really dropping, so Natsuki's customer base is going with it. So yeah, his business, the long-term outlook for his business is a bit dodgy, unfortunately. So I've got to try and find a way around that in some way. I don't know. Maybe it's fate that him and I met in the middle of nowhere. Who knows? Any new merchandise coming, says Daventex. Possibly. What should we do though? Any ideas? If you were me, right, and this is to all of you guys, if you were me, what merchandise ideas would you do? Would you do something like Korewa pen desu? I always think that would do really well. Korewa pen desu. This is a pen. I think that'd be popular, and I think it'd be a great conversation starter. If you come to Japan and walk into a bar, Japanese people would see it and fucking love it. And that's the main reason I've always wanted to do that. Yeah, I don't know. Would have to Bon Jovi chicken, brilliant. Justice Delicious. Yeah, I don't know why that never happened. I did. I think I had plans to do Justice Delicious, but it just didn't happen. Just write that down. Justice Delicious. I'm amazed people still remember that phrase after all these years. So that's quite impressive. Justice Delicious. That phrase was invented like 3 years ago now. I think people still love it. Justice Delicious. Horua Pendes. Something with Ryotaro. Ryotaro's been a dispenser of brilliant phrases for many years now. So we have to try and do that. I know Tokyo Creative did start selling a phrase. What was it? I'm very luxury. I feel very luxury. They started selling a I feel very luxury hoodie, which looked kind of cool. I don't know how it's sold. I don't know about that. Cost performance, says Kath. Yes, cost performance. It's very, what did he say? It was very cost performance. I can't remember. I have to look at that. Cost, very luxury, yeah. Koriwa Pendes, please, says Debbie. Yeah, I think that's the best one though. Koriwa Pendes. I think even if you don't watch Abroad in Japan, that will still sell really well, right? Because it's just a well-known phrase. So yeah. I've never felt cloud, says Kerwin. I've never felt cloud. I don't know how well that would do on a shirt, but I'm gonna make a note of it anyway. Yeah, so I got some good ideas for merchandise there. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I have to get like at least three new designs made up though. 3 new designs for the merchandise made up, and see what we do. I mean, the current merchandise still pretty popular. Everybody loves the Fuck Saki t-shirt. Still selling really well. People, it's so cool. Like, for the longest time, I was never really enthusiastic about doing merchandise because I just thought it's a lot of effort and you don't make that much money from it. You don't make much money from doing merchandise, especially as it's made to order, right? So we don't print them in bulk. You order it and it's made there and then and shipped out. So the profit margins are quite small. And yet it is pretty cool. Like people sending me photos from around the world of them wearing the kind of For Fuck's Sake t-shirt or the Like Magic t-shirt. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's quite fun. That's the best thing about doing merchandise. It kind of helps you feel like you've got a community going, right? It kind of helps you feel and realize that you've got a community. So that's kind of cool. You can make the t-shirt look really artsy. So I've never felt cloud, says Jonathan. Yeah, sounds like the sort of phrase you'd have if you're on drugs or something. It's 11 o'clock, guys, but I'll stay around a little bit longer. Given that the live show cut out for 5-10 minutes, I'll hang around a little bit longer. For those of you that have to go, thanks for joining, and thanks for coming in. Sorry about the internet fucking about though, guys. It was a bit annoying. It's weird. Every time I come to Tokyo and I do one of these live shows, we've had really bad luck with the internet. And I always thought it'd be the other way around because Tokyo equals good internet, but apparently it also equals shit, unreliable internet. So sorry about that. So for those of you guys that have to leave, thanks for joining. And for everyone else, I'll stick around another 10 minutes until I finish this water. There were a couple of questions on Patreon that I've got to answer. So I'll quickly do that as well. So I had a question from Murray Monster, who says, do you think Natsuki will actually stop smoking if you make a documentary about it? I did answer that earlier, and the answer was probably not. I don't think he actually would. I know he'd try, and I reckon he'd probably stop smoking and succeed for a few weeks, maybe even a month, but then he would eventually just go back to it because it's such a big part of his life. Natalie Davis says, question for my upcoming trip. If I'm visiting Kyushu, is it worth hiring a car if I also have a JR rail pass, looking to experience the countryside? Yeah, definitely get a car because Kyushu's a little bit rural. Well, Kyushu's a bit rural, pretty rural, and a lot of the best places, like Mount Aso, the volcano Mount Aso, you really need a car to get there. So even though you've got a JR rail pass, I would rent a car for like 1 day to drive up to Mount Aso, and that's totally worth it. I've got a video coming out about that in a few weeks. It's just the most beautiful, amazing place. So yeah, definitely get a car. Got a question from Helen, who says, I was wondering if you're still thinking or working on your New Year's resolutions. Your posts are fun to read. Do you still plan to write a book or make a book of photographs? Why not combine them? I truly believe you can write a book and a good one. Your story's awesome photos combined with witty anecdotes on the side. I was absolutely by it. It'd be really good. Funded with Kickstarter, you could get the costs covered, and you could call it Totally Abroad. There's a title for the book right there, Totally Abroad. I think if I made a book, I'd actually just call it Abroad in Japan and exploit the whole brand name, and it kind of works. But yeah, like I said, Ellen, definitely up for the book. Definitely want to make the book happen. Absolutely. Just need to sit down and write it somehow. I like to just rent out a house in some rural place or some like rural place in Japan, and sit there and type it for like a month. Yeah. There are already Korewa Pendes shirts, I must say, says John. Not as good as the one we're going to make, John. We're going to make the best goddamn Korewa Pendes shirt there's ever been. And then we're going to market it, exploiting the Abroad in Japan brand. You should do a certified Japanophile shirt, says Alev. Why not? Why not just a bespoke certified Japanophile shirt, especially for Pete Donaldson? He would deserve one. Still don't really know what the definition of certified Japanophile even is. I think it's just someone who comes to Japan quite a lot, which is essentially what Pete does. I heard you and Pete talking about how Airbnb can be tricky in Japan, and especially in Tokyo. What made you decide to go Airbnb this week, says Andrew. The reason I did Airbnb this week is we made a deal with this Airbnb place where if I stay here and I do some Instagram posts on it, they'll actually let me stay here for free. So I thought, yeah, all right, I'll do that. So that's the main reason. It's free. I must admit, Airbnb in Japan is quite good now. A year ago, it was really dodgy. It didn't really work because Japan put in loads of new paperwork and things, so it actually screwed a lot of people. But now, Airbnb in Japan actually works really good, and I highly recommend it. And it's great because you get to try out little neighborhoods that you wouldn't normally get to go to. And also, it's often a lot cheaper than the overpriced hotels in Tokyo. So definitely don't rule out Airbnb. Definitely don't. And if you want to come to where I am now, then you can when I've promoted it. Obviously, I won't be promoting this place until I've left it, lest I get people knocking on my door knowing where I am. But yeah, you can actually know where this is. So yeah. Fucking hell, why doesn't YouTube remind me, says Type Beast. I'm guessing you've just arrived here without knowing the live stream's on. I don't know. I stayed in an Airbnb in Osaka last week and had the craziest electronic check-in situation, says Debbie. What do you mean by craziest electronic check-in situation? For this place, it was just the standard Airbnb, just press some numbers, you get the key, off you go. So, yeah. Airbnb at Soap Plans. This is more of a word of mouth promotion. What? Are you going to mention the shit internet in your review, says Andrew. I don't know. How's the internet now? It seems to be quite good. I don't know what happened. Really, I don't know what happened with the internet, but the internet's been great the whole 2 days that I've been here. And then the moment I start the live stream, bang, it goes to shit. But it seems to be all right now, right? Seems stable, says Daventex. Yeah. That's the annoying thing about doing a live show, right? You don't know how good or bad the internet is until afterwards. So I think YouTube is the culprit, says Jonathan. It might be. Probably was. I am using this new... YouTube's actually got this brand new, what do you call it? It's got this beta testing version of YouTube live streams. I suspect it was actually YouTube that fucked us rather than the Wi-Fi. So, yeah. Hey, Chris, I've got a question about your Japan Jet Days, the Japan Exchange Teaching Program. Were there end-of-term projects for your students? Every year in high school, my French teachers made us create short films to present to the class. See, that sounds like fun. Depending on the class, really. I had a class where I got to teach students whatever I wanted and do whatever I wanted. And one of the things I did there was actually, got them to make short films, got them to make a magazine. I should dig out that magazine and show you guys one day because it's pretty cool. But yeah, no, my class, that special comprehensive English class, they did do projects, and They really enjoyed it because he actually, rather than reading a shitty textbook with expressions like a magic in it, they got to actually use English in a practical, fun way. So if you ever do teaching, if you guys ever come to Japan, end up teaching, God forbid, then do something fun. Like get the students doing something fun, like making a magazine or making a short film or something. It's far more rewarding, I think. What made you decide to retain your mini beard or moustache? Says Kath. I don't know. I don't know why I've still got it really. I kind of, maybe it's because I like it now, or it's actually not to do with that though. The main reason I've got this shit on my face still is because I'm still doing Journey Across Japan. There are certain bits of the video on Journey Across Japan where I might need to refilm them just in case. I haven't actually looked through all the footage from Journey Across Japan, but some of it, the camera was a bit shit, the audio wasn't good, so it's kind of like an emergency. In an emergency situation, if I need to refilm something, God forbid, then I've still got the facial hair. If I shaved it all off, which I've been very tempted to do several times in the last few months, if I shaved it all off, got rid of it, I know that the next video that I'm editing, there's probably a scene where I need to film something again, and it will be gone and I'll be fucked. So yeah, that's the main reason I've got it there. But then people seem to like it. Every month or so, I do like a I do little Instagram stories, and I'm like, what do you think? Should I keep the facial hair or not? And everyone just says, yes, keep it. So I've kept it. Just needs a little trim, says Charla. Yeah, it does need a little bit of a trim. It suits you well. It looks good. It looks great on you. You look handsome. The beard works. See, most of you guys seem to like it, so I should probably keep it. See what happens. Do you ever review all of the comments in these Hangout videos after you log off? I do. I look through the comments. People like come and watch these live streams afterwards. For those guys that didn't make it, they come watch it afterwards. I do have a look through the comments. Yeah, it's a strange question though. Why? You've said that in a very suspicious way. Makes me wonder what you've got planned. What have you got planned, Rook Steps? If you do have to go back and refilm Journey Across Japan, do you try and conceal the fact it's a whole other take, like you wear the same clothes and go at the same time of day and everything? Yes, Andrew, I do. There's a video. The last time I did it, I did actually do it recently on another video. If you go back and look at the video where Charla and I cycle the Inland Sea, the Shimanami Kaido cycle video, if you look at the last scene of the video, where it's just me on a hotel bed talking, giving a kind of a roundup, like a conclusion. That was just filmed like last month. It wasn't filmed at all it wasn't filmed on the day itself. Because on the actual day of the cycle, when we cycled the Inland Sea, I was too shattered to actually film anything. So I sort of just said, oh, fuck it. I'll film it at a later date. So that's why. I don't feel bad doing it. I don't feel like it's morally wrong or anything, because it's more like a quick roundup, you know. If I restaged an entire day where I got on the bike and cycled around and pretended like it was on the cycle, that would be wrong, and I wouldn't do that. But it's more like those little scenes where I'm just sort of in the hotel room giving a conclusion or a wrap up. It's fine, and it's fine. And you need those kind of scenes to make the video work, so it's pretty important. Hey Chris, I think I saw someone ask about Discord earlier. Any updates on that front, Jonathan? I'm all for it. Just I need to speak with you later, don't I, Jonathan, about how that's going to work? Yes. I don't. If you guys know what Discord is, we're thinking of doing a Discord. It's just got. Well, I still don't really know what Discord is. I know it's like a chat room where people can talk about stuff, and I know my good friend Charla does it on her Patreon, and she seems to think it's good. So I'm going to look into that. Definitely going to look into Discord and make it happen. Are you planning to release another YouTube hate comments video, says John? Not that I think you get hate anymore. I'd love to, but I genuinely don't get that much hate for some reason on YouTube anymore, and I don't know why. It's kind of disappointing. I don't really get enough hate to justify it anymore. I think it's because these days on YouTube, you have to kind of verify your identity, so people are a little bit more wary of spreading hate and saying horrible shit. So that could be a factor. Or it could just be that YouTube's bloody good at filtering out spam and hate comments these days. There is actually a spam folder on YouTube itself, and if you click on it, you do get lots of weird comments. But that's it, yeah. I just genuinely don't get that much hate these days. It's pretty disappointing. Um, Personally, I want more Japanglish English videos, says David Miller. Yeah, I'm all for that. I love that. We actually did a podcast on that recently, and we got loads of people sending in loads of cool shit. Thank you to you guys, because I know a few of you did send in some weird Japanese English. But yeah, we had a really good podcast on that, come out the week before last. Check it out if you missed it. That would be a really good video. People love that, and I love it as well. And again, though, what's interesting is I spent a lot of time recently going around the Hyakuen shop, 100 yen shop, which is typically the best place to find Japanese English and weird English. And Japanese marketing, like Japanese companies, have actually got quite good at their English these days, because I think they've realised that their English before wasn't good, and now they've actually started getting like real translators in to make it good. So not only am I getting no hate comments, but I'm seeing less weird Japanese English. So two of my favourite types of videos are screwed. So I have to try and think of something more original these days and do something different. So, sucks, right? How do you structure your videos and approach storytelling? I'd love to get into videography, says Kerwin. That's a big question. Bloody hell. How do I structure my videos? Well, you should always have an beginning, middle, and end. That's all there is to it, really. That's a pretty hard question to answer. But the quick answer is always try and think about the narrative you want to tell in your video, right? You should always have like the introduction where you talk about what you want to do in the video or where you're going. Then you should have the middle where you're actually doing it, and then you should have a conclusion and the ending. That's the quick answer, the quick 20-second answer. Yeah, beginning, middle, and end. But it's actually a lot more complicated than that, and that's a story for another day. Have you ever cut together and completely edited a video, then for whatever reason decided not to post it? If so, why? Says Andrew. Yeah, I've done that, haven't I? I've done that quite a few times, actually. What's a good example of that? Actually, the original hate mail video, I did actually film that, I think twice, and then I deleted the whole thing and started again. And I'm glad I did. One of my biggest problems when I make a video is you've really got to be kind of energetic on camera, right? You've got to be moving, you've got to be dynamic, you've got to be on the ball. And I'll film a video, and then I'll look back at it, and I'm kind of like, oh yeah, and blah blah blah, and I'm just kind of not energetic or good, and I'll like wipe it all and start over again. So yeah, there's been instances where that's happened. I can't think of any other ones that spring to mind though. I mean, it's happened quite a lot. Not recently, but in the old days, it used to happen quite a lot. I'd film stuff, I wouldn't like it, and I'd start from scratch. And I never regret it, because when you're making a video, you've got to make sure you're happy with what you put out, because the video is going to be there for like 2, 3, 5, 10 years. I mean, some of my videos have been up there for almost 7 years now. So you've always got to think long term with YouTube. If you're putting up a video that you're not happy about, it feels horrible. It's the worst feeling in the world. And I've definitely done it. I've definitely made videos 2 or 3 times that I've not been happy about. I did a video where I went to Ibaraki many years ago, where I made some sort of, it was a ridiculous video. I was working with the local government, I think, and it was a video where I had to go to Ibaraki and I had to do some pottery and make some pottery. And the title of the video is How to Suck at Making Pottery. And it was, that's not even a title that you'd really associate with something I've done. But that wasn't a very fun video to make, and I regretted doing that. And I don't know why I haven't taken it down in hindsight. But yeah, that was a good example of a video I didn't enjoy doing. And so if you're doing YouTube, make sure you don't put up videos you're not happy about. Yeah. How's your Tokyo series project coming along, says Kerwin. It's coming along all right. I've been scripting out this Tokyo series. I've actually got a list of like wacky, weird, crazy shit, weird stuff I want to film in Tokyo. I'll save that for another day. I've already talked about enough bloody projects for now. It probably won't ever happen. But yeah, no, I'm definitely keen to make some videos in Tokyo, especially as that's where everyone's going to be coming for the Olympics. How to wabi sabi a pottery. Yeah. I think this has been answered before, but do you cook, Chris? Eating out in Japan often doesn't seem too expensive. I ate out today. I had a McDonald's and a burrito, the two least Japanese things you could ever have. Burrito and a McDonald's and some pizza. Jesus, I ate a lot today. Oh, shit. Yeah, I eat out like quite a lot because I am not good at cooking, and I like cooking, but when it's just for yourself, it's kind of hard to justify the time to cook. So I do eat out like every day, and it is cheap. Yeah, it's very cheap because as you probably know, in Japan you don't have to pay a tip. You never have to tip for anything. So that's bloody good. So a meal that would cost like £10, £15 in the UK is more like £8 here in Japan. So yeah, it's actually pretty bloody good. Eating out here is really cheap if you play your cards right. Other than English and Mandarin Chinese, are there any other popular second languages from people who like learning languages that Japanese people today like to learn? That's a confusing sentence. That's a confusing sentences. That's not even good English. Can't even speak today. Yeah, I think that's about it really. Don't think. Yeah, I can't think of any other languages that Japanese people like to learn. Yeah, English is the #1 language though. English is pretty big, and yeah, Mandarin Chinese is the second most popular for Japanese people to learn, and sometimes French. But yeah, more often than not, English is where it's at for Japanese learners. I don't think I've seen a Wakayama video as of yet, says James. If not, is that something on your horizon for the Abroad Japan channel? I'd like to see it. What would you like to see in Wakayama, James? What is there in Wakayama apart from dolphins? That terrible cove where dolphins get slaughtered. I suppose there's a nice temple in Wakayama. I know that much. But yeah, I don't know what is there in Wakayama worth filming. I know nice scenery, but yeah, I think there's some nice temples there that a lot of people tend to stay at. Well, I think we may have cracked the conspiracy on why you did not lose weight cycling the whole country, says Rook Steps. Yeah, it was because I basically ate at convenience stores every single day for the Journey Across Japan trip. I was eating at convenience stores, and yeah, I did lose a little bit of weight though. Credit where it's due. I did lose, I think, like 3 kilograms maybe. You mentioned before about your plan to look for an apartment in Tokyo, says Kath. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to move to Tokyo. I think I've scrapped that plan. I love Tohoku too much, and I'm in Tokyo so much anyway that I don't think I need to live here. Thing is, if you move to Japan and you live in Tokyo, what you find is you never ever leave Tokyo. And all of my friends that live in Tokyo, whether they live in Ebisu or Shinjuku or Shibuya, wherever, they very rarely leave Tokyo, and that's a tragedy because all of the best places in Japan, all the places that make you go, wow, they're not really in Tokyo. They're out there in the middle of nowhere, in the countryside. And so I feel like if I lived here, I wouldn't see or do enough outside of Tokyo. So yeah, I'm going to stick to living in Tohoku, and I don't regret that. But I'm still in Tokyo every month doing something. So best of both worlds, really. Best of both worlds. Do delivery people in Japan get tipped? Delivery people no, they don't. Well, they should, because Japanese delivery people are very good. They work very hard. I rarely leave London unless I fly to another country, says John. Exactly. It's the same for anyone that lives in a major city. You know what I mean? It's quite hard to find the motivation to leave. Like Ryotaro. Ryotaro lived in London for, I think 3 years. Ryotaro lived in London. And he also lived in Seattle, and he lived in Dusseldorf and Sydney. But I know he told me when he lived in London, he never ever travelled outside of London, like very rarely. I don't think Ryotaro even went to Brighton, which is only like an hour south of London, and everybody loves Brighton. Everybody goes to Brighton. So yeah, that's another reason not to live in a big city, although it's quite convenient living in a big city. Chris, do you think traveling in Japan next year will be hectic early in the year, or only for the couple of months leading up to the Olympics? I think around the Olympics is going to be mental. Like if you're not interested in the Olympics, avoid coming to Japan during the Olympics, lest you get crushed to death in a river of people. When the Olympics are on in Japan, I'm gonna fucking fly somewhere else. I don't want to be here. I want to get out, or I'm going to be hiding away in Tohoku in a hut. I don't know why a hut, but I'd be hiding in bloody Tohoku somewhere because it's going to be horrible. So yeah, I'd avoid the Olympics, Jonathan, unless you really like sports and you like the Olympics, in which case definitely come because it will be great. I last went to Brighton in 2013. 4 days of drinking, says John. 2013? I live in Japan. I've been to Brighton 3 times the last 3 years. So you've got no excuses, John. You've got to get down there to Brighton and sit on the beach of pebbles and see if you can bump into PewDiePie and all the other YouTubers that live in Brighton. I don't know why all the YouTubers in the UK live in Brighton. I guess it's kind of fun and nice and laid back, but there you go. During my trip to Japan, the people who asked where I was from were always surprised when I answered Canada. Why do you think that was? I figure it's because Canada isn't very well known abroad, says Kerwin. I think it's because, I don't know actually. I think when Japanese people meet a foreigner, they instantly think they're American. Like most people that meet me just go, "Oh, where are you from in America?" I'm like, I'm not from America. I'm from near London in a little village. And they're really surprised. I think there's just an assumption for Japanese people that if you're a foreigner, you're probably from America. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because America feels closer to Japan, even though it's not. It just looks closer on the map because there's just a bit of ocean. Whereas Europe and Japan feel a lot further away because there's lots of countries in between. So I think that's one factor. And certainly, I think if you were to ask 100 Americans and 100 Europeans if they like Japan or if they want to go to Japan, I think you're more likely to find Americans have an interest in Japan more than Europeans. Because again, to Europeans, Japan just seems so damn far away. Even I never thought I would go to Japan before I moved here. I never thought I'd go because it was so damn far away. Whereas, yeah, I think Americans really like Japan. Like there's more, and certainly on the Abroad Japan channel, I think 30% of my viewers are American. So it kind of gives you a sense that Americans really like Japan and have a deep interest in the culture. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know why. I think maybe Japan had quite a close relationship with America after World War II. After the war, America and Japan got close very quickly because of the Cold War and I don't know why I'm talking about history as if I know what I'm talking about. But I think America and Japan have a very good relationship over the last 50 years. And so Americans have an interest in coming here. Don't know. Lots of you guys are American. Maybe you can help me out here. So I don't look stupid with my crap knowledge of history. But there you go, though. I mean, if you're from Canada, yeah, I guess it's just rare. It's just rare. So in the same way that it's rare for someone to be here from the UK. And most of the people I meet in Japan who are foreigners are usually American. So, yeah. Imagine their surprise when I say I'm from Turkey, says Aleph. Yeah, they'll be surprised. There's not many people from Turkey here that I know of. Yeah, I don't know. You'll be a rarity. Play it to your advantage. I love it when my Irish friends, I used to work with a really cool Irish guy called Sam. We used to work at a school. We used to work when I was a teacher. He worked in the same school as me. And Sam was from Ireland, a little town in South Republic of Ireland. And whenever he said to Irish people, "Oh yeah, I'm from Ireland," they'd go, "Oh yeah, Iceland. Iceland's brilliant." And Sam would be like, "No, not Iceland, Ireland." And for some reason, Japanese people always get Ireland confused with Iceland. So if any of you guys are from Ireland, don't be surprised when they say, "Wow, Ireland must be cold. Yeah, lots of snow and ice," because they've just got Ireland confused with Iceland for some weird reason. I suppose it's just one letter off being Iceland, but still. But it really pissed him off. At first, it was quite funny, but after 2 years, it kind of started to piss him off. So, yeah, bear that in mind if you're from Ireland. Did you meet PewDiePie when he was in Japan recently? Says Tian87. I didn't meet PewDiePie. I didn't. No, Joey met him. I'm meeting Joey tomorrow, and Joey hung out with him for a fair bit. And I think they made a video together, which you can check out on Joey's channel. Joey and PewDiePie are good friends because PewDiePie has quite an interest in anime and hentai culture and all the anime stuff. And Joey's obviously the animation man. So they have a common interest there. They've been good friends for, I think, a year or two now. So, yeah. I'd like to meet him one day. There's the word on the street is that PewDiePie is interested in buying a house in Japan. I think he even said in one of his videos he wants to buy a house in Japan. So maybe at some point our paths will cross. I don't know. It'd be cool to meet him, but there you go. You never know what to expect. It'll be quite fun. It's always kind of weird seeing Joey and PewDiePie together, though. It's like, wow, that's weird. To think I hang out with Joey on like Monday, and then on Wednesday he's with PewDiePie doing something very weird. But I don't really watch PewDiePie's videos. Every now and then I'll watch one of them. But yeah, he seemed like an alright bloke. I actually he seemed like a decent guy. So. Type Beast has explained why Americans love Japan. He says the electronics boom and economical cars. There you go. Economical cars. Yeah, Japanese cars are bloody good. I recently watched a documentary about how the Trump administration is pissed that that Japan just doesn't buy American cars, whereas Japanese cars actually sell really well in America and in Europe as well. And they felt that was unfair because of trade and whatnot. But that's just because Japanese cars are genuinely very well made. They never break down. They're very economical. Whereas American cars, the stereotype with American cars, I don't know if it's true, is that American cars are very big. They go through ridiculous amounts of petrol and fuel. So, yeah, Japanese just aren't interested. They think if they get an American car, it'll cost ridiculous amounts of money to run it, and it'll probably break down. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the assumption. So, whereas Japanese cars never die. I had a Toyota. The first 3 years that I lived here, I had a Toyota Starlet. It was made in 1996, and I was driving it from 2012 to 2015. I didn't have a single problem with it, even though it was 20 years old, almost. Not a single problem, apart from one of the windows didn't really work in the back, and the aircon. Yeah, it was quite bad actually. The air conditioning didn't work, and that was pretty bad in summer. But still, the car worked. It was great. So there you go. Japanese cars never die. Toyota's a solid brand. I love my Lexus, says Charla. My Honda served me well for the 8 years or so that I had one, says Jonathan. Drive a Subaru myself, best for winter. I mean, there you go. Everybody seems to love it. Japanese cars never die. I'll probably just curse lots of Japanese cars. What's this? American cars wouldn't fit in Japan. Probably not. And that's not an exaggeration. Like, I don't know what not a lot of people know unless they've been to Japan and been there and whatnot. But there's a whole different genre of special Japanese cars called K cars, KEI, and they've got yellow number plates, whereas normal cars in Japan have white number plates. K cars have yellow number plates, and they're basically little, tiny, silly, boxy cars. They're really small. They have to have, I think it's about 1,000 cc or under. So the engines are tiny, but they're really economical. The insurance is fuck all, and they're really cheap and great for cities. If you're driving around a city, which a lot of people are in Tokyo, Osaka, wherever, they're great because they're really small and you can fit them into tight spaces. So that's a whole different genre of car, a whole different type of car that we just don't have in like the UK or the West in general. So yeah, Japan doesn't really do big cars. Yeah, the economy of American cars is getting better, but the whole politics of oil keeps us from moving forward at the same pace as everyone else. My Toyota has 130,000 miles on it, and it's still young. There you go. So turning into like one big One big product placement for Toyota here. But Toyota, yeah, it's great. I don't have a car at the moment. If I got a car, I'd probably get a Toyota or a Honda. Probably a Honda. Some of PewDiePie's music videos are stuck in my head for a few days now. I haven't. Yeah, I don't watch many of his videos these days. It would be quite weird to make a video with him, though, wouldn't it? PewDiePie. I'd love to make a video with PewDiePie and Natsuki. I feel like that would be good. Imagine, I did have a dream actually that I got Natsuki onto PewDiePie's channel, and that could be the way Natsuki got famous and successful. If we could somehow get that should be the start. I'll make a note of that. Get Natsuki on PewDiePie's channel. I'll make a note of that. Because yes, shit. Yeah, I had a dream that Natsuki was on PewDiePie's channel, and then he finally got the global recognition that he deserves, a level of global recognition that I could never provide, that PewDiePie could do. That could be the way. I think what we'd have to do, and I do think there could be a strategy for this, we'd have to put Natsuki in a series of videos where Natsuki kind of gets famous or gets like a really big following. And then PewDiePie sees the video with Natsuki in it and thinks, yes, I want to put Natsuki in one of my videos. And then bang, Natsuki's famous. That could work. That's the kind of forward strategic planning you have to think about. Abroad in Japan might explode if he gets on PewDiePie's channel, says John. Exactly. They can review memes together, says Kath. Best idea ever, says Alev. Exploit your friendship with Joey, then buy him a figurine as thanks, says Jonathan. Yeah, I'll have to run it past Joey tomorrow. I'm seeing Joey tomorrow for a drink, so I'll run it past him. I'll get Joey to put Natsuki in a video and somehow get PewDiePie to watch it. What's the whole controversy about PewDiePie, says Type Beast? There's controversy. Well, he's done all sorts of things over the years that have been a bit questionable, but for the most part, I think PewDiePie is an all right bloke. He seems like a nice guy. Step one, says Koala Chuck, kidnap PewDiePie. I don't think we need to even kidnap him. I reckon just a good video might do it. The world might explode, says Kerwin, at this concept. Yeah, might well work. Don't know, but certainly we'll have to do something about Natsuki. I feel like there's two things I want to do before I leave Japan. Number one, actually no, it's three things. Number one, I want to meet Ken Watanabe. I think that's pretty well known. I think everybody knows that. It's well documented. I want to meet Ken Watanabe in some way, shape, or form before I leave. That's number one, my number one goal. Number two, make Natsuki famous. Make him famous in a way where I can make him famous, and then I don't have to worry about him. I don't have to help him anymore because he's already famous and he can do it himself. And number three, pass JLPT1, which is the number one difficult Japanese proficiency language test. And I should really do that because I've lived here almost 7 years, and it would be embarrassing not to have that before I leave. So those are my three things: meet Ken Watanabe, make Natsuki famous, and pass Japan level proficiency 1 test. Those are my three things. Let's make it happen. But for now, guys, I think it's time to wrap up. We've been doing this for an hour and a half. I'm sorry again for the internet being crap. I'll make sure it doesn't happen next time. I don't know how I can do that, but I'll try and do my best. But for now, I'll be back in a video. I'm making a video, a little vlog, while I'm here in Tokyo. So there'll be a little vlog coming up in a few days. And also the next video called How Much Japanese Can You Learn in One Day? And that's part of Journey Across Japan. How much Japanese can you learn in one day? It's a good title. Should do well. But yeah, I'll be back then. For those of you that are going to watch Avengers over the weekend, enjoy it. Let me know what you thought. I'm going to go and see it on Monday. And also Game of Thrones, which I'm actually more excited about than Avengers. Game of Thrones on Sunday. It's going to be fucking amazing. For now, no matter where you might be out there in the big wide world, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next few days. Have a good one. And now I don't know how to end it. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna slowly disappear like this, and yeah, that's too awkward. Bye, guys. Have a good one.